I can't believe we've already made so many beautiful things. We've been drawing, we've been painting, and we have really been inventive and creative. This week we are going to use our imagination again to create a very cool cut paper creature, character, monster, or animal being. Ooh. There are so many choices with the character that we make this week. You can choose to create a monster of some kind. You can make a character that you know from a book that you've seen, or you could just put a bunch of shapes together and make your own imaginary person. It's going to be really fun. This week, we are going to do cut paper art, where you are going to take pieces of paper, cut them out into different kinds of shapes, and glue them together to make a really cool creature. Now, these characters can look however you want them to. They might have a great big body, a little tiny head, some arms, some legs, some eyes, smiley faces, angry faces, scared faces. You get to decide. We're back at it with the shapes again this week, boys and girls. Squares, circles, ovals, rectangles, half circles, stars, diamonds. The sky's the limit. We're going to use shapes this week, but not only are we going to draw them or paint them, we are going to cut them. Along with using shapes to make really cool characters this week, we are going to work on some skill building. And the skills we're going to work on this week is cutting and gluing. Ooh. These are two things that are sometimes pretty tricky in the art world and can get us into some trouble. So first, we're going to learn how to cut very carefully using our scissors, how to hold them, how to use them, and how to be safe with them, to cut nice, straight, even lines on our papers. And we're going to learn how to use a glue bottle the right way so that we don't have big puddles of glue all over the place, sticky fingers, and everything sticking to everything. So we are going to learn how to use these two art tools today. To make our cut paper art project today, you need some new supplies that we haven't worked with yet. First, we're going to use construction paper. That's that colored paper from your art kit. It looks like this. Ooh la la. There are so many different pieces of paper and colors. My suggestion to you is just pull out one of every color and then put the rest somewhere safe. That way we have an awesome selection of different colors, but we're not using all of the papers that we have. Second, you need a pair of scissors. Third, your glue bottle. Everybody got a bottle of Elmer's glue in their art kits. You may use this kind of glue, or if you have a glue stick, you can use that. And finally, of course, we need our pencils, okay? Because we might need to draw some shapes before we cut them out of our construction paper. So grab those 4 supplies: construction paper, scissors, glue, and a pencil, and then meet me right back here, and we will use some different shapes to make some super fun characters today. Now, your art project that you make today is another one that we are going to keep and hold on to. Keep it somewhere safe, because next week we're going to come back to these guys and make these characters the inspiration for a drawing project. So we're going to make them out of paper first, and then next week we're going to draw these guys in a really cool picture. So hold on to your characters that you make this week. Keep them somewhere safe. Bring them back to art class next week so we can look at them while we do a really cool drawing. Of course, when you're finished with your art project this week, hold it up, take a picture, and send it to me so that I can see what you have been making. Great job, boys and girls. You found all of the art supplies that you need for your art lesson today. You found your construction paper from your art kit and grabbed one of every color. You found your glue bottle from your art kit, or maybe you even have your own special glue stick. But each of you got an art bottle or a glue bottle in your art kit. You also found a pair of scissors. Now, I have big adult scissors like this that I know how to use, but you might have some smaller scissors like this that will fit your hand a little bit better. And hopefully you found yourself a pencil or a crayon or a writing utensil so that we can trace some lines and shapes before we cut them out. Now, a few things to keep in mind to use our tools properly. With your scissors, friends, we want to be really careful because they're very sharp on one side. So if you're ever carrying your scissors around, always hold them by the point and hold them up and down like this in a fist, all right? That's how you carry your scissors carefully in your home or in daycare or wherever you are making your art supplies. Then, to hold our scissors properly, there's a small hole and a big hole. Your thumb goes in the small hole and about 2 or 3 fingers go in the larger hole. And you always want to make sure your scissors are pointed away from your body. Think about your scissors being an alligator, and you want that alligator mouth that can open and close to chomp away from your body. You do not want your scissors to chomp towards your body. That's a no. Always turn them away. It's much safer. So your thumb goes in the little hole, your 2 or 3 fingers go in the big hole, and your thumb is always on the top so that when I open and close my scissors, my thumb stays on the top just like this. If you've never used scissors before, take a minute and just practice opening and closing your hand with your thumb on the top and your fingers on the bottom. Then anytime I go to cut something, I wiggle and twist my paper all around while my scissors open and close at the same time in order to use these. So think of them like a little alligator, boys and girls. That little alligator, he likes to bite his paper. And as he bites, he moves forward in the water and he wiggles and twists all throughout the ocean in order to get to where he needs to go. And look at how when I'm cutting, I'm doing little cuts, little chomps, chomp, 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 little ones. You don't always have to do big cuts. That gets kind of crazy. So little chomps, open and close are key. So before you start cutting, practice those little chomps, open and close. Great. The other art supply that we may need to practice with today, boys and girls, is our glue. You got a bottle of Elmer's glue in your art kit. Now we want to make sure we use this the right way so we don't spill glue all over the place. First things first, your glue bottle should be closed. You can tell because our orange lid and cap are tight together. You can open your glue bottle by holding it with one hand here. This part stays still. And then the top triangle part you twist like that. Now you can see there's a space in between. That means my glue bottle is open and ready to use. Perfect. Now, in order to use it, you want to check it and make sure it's open and worked because sometimes this hole gets a little bit clogged. To check it, I just squeeze it slightly and listen for Mr. Glue Bottle to breathe. Can you hear that, boys and girls? Mr. Glue Bottle can breathe. If he can breathe, you are good to go and you're ready to make your artwork. If he cannot breathe and it's all clogged up, don't jam a pencil or something inside or cut it with your scissors. No, no, no. Take your glue bottle, close that space, twist that top part till it's closed. And then there's almost always a little bit of dried glue here on the top on Mr. Glue Bottle's nose. So use your fingernails, pick that extra glue off. Excellent. Throw that away. And now it should be good to go. Now look, there is a little orange dot that always sticks out. That helps the glue stay closed. So don't pick that guy off. That's supposed to be there. Once I've picked Mr. Glue Bottle's nose, I re-twist and open him up. And then I check again, can he breathe? Squeeze slightly. Oh yeah. Mr. Glue Bottle can breathe very well. Now he's ready to go. Now, to glue things down with Mr. Glue Bottle, there's a couple things you want to keep in mind. First, little tiny bits of glue is perfect. You don't need a puddle or a pool of glue. And what we like to think about when we glue things is think of the phrase, dot, dot, not a lot. So when I take Mr. Glue Bottle and I go to glue down my circle on my brown paper, I'm gonna first give him a little shake to get the glue down to his nose. And then when I squeeze, I always want the tip of my glue bottle to touch my paper. It's down here. All right. We don't like to float our glue bottle above our paper. Always make it touch. And then you squeeze and just put a few dots. Dot, dot, dot. Not a lot. 3 little dots. Then I can pick up my paper with 2 fingers, flip it over, put it down, and give it a massage to make it stick. I can do the same thing with a rectangle. Remember, dot, dot, not a lot. Just 2 little dots. Then I can flip it over, and that glue doesn't run or move at all, and I can glue it down. Okay? The one thing we do not want to do, here's a crazy star, is we don't want to flood and make a bunch of big blobs. Did I do dot, dot, not a lot there? No, I put a lot of glue. That is too much. Don't put a giant puddle of glue. That's no good, boys and girls. Don't do all that glue. Watch what happens if I put lots of glue and go to stick it down. Oh no, all my glue blobbed out. Oh gosh, what a mess. I'm gonna get glue on my fingers and glue all of them over my paper. I don't want that. What a mess. Instead, when you go to glue your things down, remember, dot, dot, not a lot. Then when I have my little dots and I go to glue it down, no glue spreads into crazy town. Okay, now that we know how to use our glue, final step, when you're finished with your glue bottle, always close it back up. That way your glue won't dry out, all right? And remember, you only turn the top part. Don't turn this part or else your whole glue bottle will open up. So keep that part down and only turn this top part, okay? Close it up whenever you're done. Now we're ready to make our monsters. To make your monster today, boys and girls, choose one color of paper to be your monster's body. My favorite of the color is yellow, so I'm gonna do a yellow monster. Then, boys and girls, you have to choose one shape for your monster's body. One shape. You could do a circle, triangle, square, rectangle, oval, diamond, heart, moon, half circle, trapezoid, or a star. It's up to you. So whatever shape you want to do, use your pencil and draw your shape very, very big. Not a little one. We don't want a little monster. We want a big monster. So I'm going to pick a shape and draw it really big on my paper. I am going to do a diamond. And look, my diamond shape goes from edge to edge. I filled up the whole thing. Once you have your shape on really big, use your scissors, thumb, 2 fingers, thumb on top, and cut it out. Perfect. The next part, boys and girls, of our monster is our arms and leggies. So grab yourself another color of paper. This time I'm gonna do red, and I'm gonna cut 4 strips because my monster needs 2 arms and 2 legs. So I'm gonna cut 4 straight strips. You can cut your strips long ways or short ways. To help me out, if I'm not a good cutter yet, I'm gonna draw some lines. I need 4 strips of paper. There's 1, move it over a little bit. There's 2, 1 more, there's 3, 1, 2, 3 strips, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now cut them out. Excellent. I have my 4 strips for 2 arms and 2 legs. I'm gonna put 2 legs at the bottom of my diamond and 2 arms at the top of my diamond. To glue these down, I get my glue bottle, open it up like I practiced, and then right on the end, just on the end part of my strip, I'm gonna put 3 dots. Remember? Dot, 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 not a lot. Then I'm going to flip it over and put all 3 of those dots on my diamond body, and then do it again.
dot. Oops, if I don't have a lot of glue coming out, just shake it down to the bottom. Dot, dot, not a lot. Flip it over, put it down, and the legs. Dot, dot, dot. Not a lot. Stick it down. Dot, dot, dot. Whoops, that dot got a little big. I gotta be careful, boys and girls. Flip it over. And now to make sure all of these stick, give them a quick little press and a little push, like a little massage. Good. Now my monster has arms and legs. If I want to, I can make the arms kind of fancy by even making accordion folds and folding them up a little bit if I want to. But you don't have to. This is optional and up to you. Very cool. Now, boys and girls, where I glued my arms and my legs, that's the back of my paper. Now I'm going to flip over my monster so I just see the triangle with the arms and the legs on the back. Great. Very cool. Oh, I like how he has big arms to give a hug because mine is a happy monster. Now, boys and girls, I need a monster face. Oh boy, this is the fun part. Now think about what kinds of different things a face needs. We need some eyeballs, we need a mouth, and maybe you even want a nose and ears. You can decide. So go back to your paper, and maybe you even have paper scraps to work with if you've used your paper for other things. And the first thing I'm gonna do is make some eyeballs. Now, if you get to decide how many eyes your monster has. I think my monster is gonna have 2 eyes. And on my white piece of paper, I'm gonna make the eye white to start. I'm gonna draw myself a big circle, and look how I put it near the edge of my paper so it's easier to cut out. And then I need a second eye. Perfect, 2 eyes, and they're next to the edge of the paper so they're easy to cut out. Take your time cutting out those circles. Circles are hard, boys and girls, so take your time. If you have a hard time with your circles and it gets a little bit of a funny straight edge, that's okay. You're learning how to cut. Perfect. Now I want to glue my eyeballs right on my monster. I grab my glue again, and how do I know how much glue to put on, boys and girls? Well, remember, I do dot, 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 not a lot, and I kind of spread them out a little bit. Dot, 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 not a lot. Now flip over those eyes, stick them down, flip them over, stick them down. Always make sure to press, people forget. Now I want the colored part in the middle of my eyeballs, and I can do any color of eyeball I want. I think maybe I'll do a brown eye for fun. So I'm gonna take my piece of paper and I'm gonna put 2 little circles on the inside. I'm not gonna put my circles in the center of my paper because that's harder to cut out to get my scissors into there. So I'm gonna put my brown eyes down here at the edge, and then I'm gonna cut them out. The smaller things get, the trickier they are to cut. So sometimes I like to cut a simple shape around the outside, boys and girls, to free it from the big paper, and then I can take my time and very carefully move my scissors around. My monster needs a mouth now, I think, and I'm gonna give him a big orange mouth. I want my monster to be smiling, so I'm gonna make a half circle. So I could make a half circle by drawing a big circle and then cutting it in half like that, or I could make a half circle by just drawing that edge of the circle on the edge of my paper. That's a little bit easier. Check this out, boys and girls. If I put my half circle this way, my monster looks happy. If I turn my half circle this way, my monster looks a little angry or sad. So you can change the emotion of your monster based on how the shape looks. I'm gonna make mine happy, but you can do whatever you want. Then you might want to put some teeth on your monster. You can use some scraps of paper, cut a nice straight line. If you want him to have square teeth, just cut some straight squares. Like that, and you can place them on his mouth. Excellent. Or You could give your monster some triangle teeth. So I'm gonna cut another rectangle. And this time I'm gonna cut with my scissors on an angle, edge to point, point to edge, edge to point, point to edge. And that gives me triangle teeth. Ooh, look at those fun teeth. You could mix and match however you want. I kind of like the triangle teeth. Oops, I need one more. Cool! Make sure you're always gluing everything down as you go so you don't lose all your fun stuff. From there, boys and girls, you have all the basics for your monster, and you can add any extra details you want. I could take other scraps of paper and make rectangles and give my monster eyebrows if I want. I could cut more rectangles or squares and put some hair on my monster. Here's some rectangles. And any other cool details you want in your monsters. Don't forget to glue them all down. My monster is all complete, boys and girls. I gave him some arms and put some circle hands on. He has his zigzaggy wiggly legs, and I put some half circle feet, and I even added an extra layer of color inside of his eyes for fun to go along with everything. And a lot of the final bits I just did with scraps. Don't forget to name your monster. Give him a cool name so that he can be your awesome monster buddy. And then boys and girls, save your monster, put him somewhere safe. Hang him on the wall or put him somewhere safe, because next week we're gonna use these monsters and do an extra project with them. We're gonna use these as our inspiration for next week's project. So hold on to them and bring them to the next art class so that you can do the second part with them. They're so cute. Have fun, enjoy your monsters, and I can't wait to see them. Bye, boys and girls.